to be our job to revolutionize the world. Change will only come through struggle.
Бунт, погром, восстание, мост угнетенных.
This skate park, you know, it's pretty busy. There's usually a lot more skaters here than there's young people right now. You know, you just see them playing basketball, but now sometimes you'll come here and you won't see anybody playing basketball. They'll all be over here skating. It kind of was created built by young people and inspired by a young man named Walt Hoyer. Walt's actually from the Thunder Valley community here on the Oglala Dakota Nation, and he, you know, was inspired to help our youth. And he has a passion around graphic art and design, and he's a really creative young man. Together with the community here, with these young people, they built this skate park. Really didn't have permission to build it, but you know, the young people wanted it and they built it and claimed it as their own. And now, as you see, this is what a result of that, you know, of just taking the bull by the horns and doing what the people need and want. And so there's a lot of inspiration here, just from being able to come down here every day and skate, you know, and get away from the hardship of the reservation life, you know. Have a sense of community down here among the skaters. You know, if you really hang out down here, you really notice that's one of the things that's pretty empowering about this spot here on the Pine Ridge Reservation. It's kind of an unknown spot, but it's getting known more and more all the time. We've had professional skaters come here like Jason Dale. You know, they come here and they skate with these young people and give them free skateboards and lessons, and you know, there's among that skate community, there's a bond there no matter where you travel in this world. Really on this planet, you know, skating's pretty popular, and so it is with our young people as well. And it's good that they have these types of opportunities.
Skateboard rock.
How long you been skateboarding, man?
I've been skateboarding for about a year and a half now, and yeah, it's pretty fun.
Who are some of your role models? Who are some of the people you look up to?
Jim Murph and Joe Mestis.
We're here with
Brian Sherman.
And Brian, how long have you been skating?
About 3 years.
And who are some of your role models? Who are some of the people you look up to?
There's a few local skaters around here that I look up to. Leroy Janice, Joe Mestis taught me how to carve the bowl. There's a lot of older people around here that I look up to, a lot of older skaters.
Do you have any signature moves that you do?
I would just say I don't see most people do 360s on the walls. That's what I do. A lot of people have their different styles. I try to stick to street and learn the best I can, but the bowl's pretty fun too, and it's like a playground for older kids.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yep.
The poverty that you see here in this community and in this region, it's very intentional. It's not by accident that it exists here in the extremes that it does. You know, most of the wealth in America can be traced back to this region of the country. the gold that sits in Fort Knox was actually mined in the Black Hills of South Dakota illegally, and that's basically why we were swarmed with colonism, and the treaties were broken because of it. You know, maybe there never was an intention to carry out the treaties in the first place. But beyond that, you know, that was kind of the beginning of set the tone for future federal policy, and you know, you look around this community of Pine Ridge, it seems a little dismal, and the physical structures are aging. You know, probably the peak of development here happened in the late 60s, early 70s after Wounded Knee occupation. You know, as a prescription to what happened at Wounded Knee. Well, we'll build you some housing and, you know, a couple buildings, but it was never a prescription of opportunity or equity. So, you know, the policies that were kind of prescribed to us created this poverty and perpetuate this poverty. And only now in 2014 are we beginning to see the creativity and you know, the education of our people to bring us out of that dynamic and change what history there is there. And, you know, we can, rightfully so, we can blame the system, we can blame a lot of individuals, but, you know, now is probably the time to point the finger at ourselves and say, you know, yeah, that happened, and we acknowledge that, and we need as a people to get beyond that on our own terms, you know, and in our own manner. And so we see initiatives being taken to change that historical perspective of misery and poverty, and change that into opportunity. The majority of the people here on the Pine Ridge Reservation in the state of South Dakota, the Native community is very young. Here on Pine Ridge, 65% of the population is under the age of 25 years old. So I'm going to be 50 this year, and so that's basically, if you do the statistical thinking about it, you know, I might be considered an elder in this population. Whereas in the non-Indian world, you know, you'd say 70, 80, 90 years you're elders. But we're fortunate if we live that long. You know, several years ago the saying was, oh, the lifespan on Pine Ridge Reservation is 52 for men and, you know, like 53 for women. It wasn't much higher. And so, you know, that's pretty dismal statistics. And so, you know, reaching the age of 50 for myself, I feel like I won the lottery, you know. Live past what the average Indian man in this community is expected to live. But you look around here and you see a lot of life, you know. We're the most youthful population probably in the United States. You know, we're the fastest growing minority, as they say, in the United States. Across South Dakota, you know, the population is aging. Their young people are making their way to the exits. You know, they're leaving the state of South Dakota and not looking back. Whereas our Native population, this is our lands and our communities, and, you know, we don't see those imaginary borders that were placed upon us. You know, this is still Lakota territory, and you know, as different bands of Lakota people, they still claim this area as Lakota territory, and so, you know, we're trying to make it a better place for these young people. And so, you know, it by design, we're going to change it. Like by design, it is the way it is today.